All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Night Riders Podcast, where we give you that 411 on all this crazy nonsense going out there. And last week, I talked about scammers and watching out for people in scams, and which was a coincidence because last week I so happened to see the Haley Welch. If you don't know who Haley Welch, I'm sure everybody knows who she is, but the formerly known as Tuah Girl, she is trying to make a comeback to back to the spotlight. If you don't know what happened, she had got famous sometime last year, around this time last year, for the famous video of her going around saying, the hak tour, it's a little dirty mouth of her, but she was having fun. She was out in the club. I think she was in Austin, Texas or something. I don't know, but she was out and having fun and stuff. But anyways, she had got so famous off of that, and she got so big. She was gonna launch her podcast, Talk to Her, this year, at the beginning of this year, and then she was gonna. I think she was gonna do some other plans. But what I formally think is that when she started hanging out with the Paul brothers, she got with some bad investors. That's what I think. The reason I say Paul brothers because that's the last picture I seen of her with before her big incident with the Bitcoin and all that. And so what happened is that she had launched the Haktua coin. It was some kind of weird currency, Bitcoin going. She was going to launch, and obviously it blew up. When we raised so much money, I think it was like maybe $6 million, but within an hour it dropped dramatically. Like just boom, there was no more money. It was all gone. So what happened? Well, what I did the research and what it showed is that whoever her investors were, they call it grab and pull. They just grabbed the money and took off with it. And she was the face of this. So obviously everybody just blamed her because she was the face. She was saying it was going to be her currency going off. And so for after that incident, she had to lay low for a couple months, and she just recently came out and she was going to talk about, on her side, which I haven't really watched the video. She said the video's out. I haven't really watched it, but I think I'm gonna check it out just because I want to see what happened. Like how they got her to invest in all this. And yeah, I think you should check it out. Hear her side of the story instead of because I've seen the comments from her popping up recently, and then people are saying she needs to go to jail. She scammed a lot of people. Like I said, we got to realize there is investors out there who are scammers that are willing to take your money just because you're so green at what you're doing. So you can't just blame her. She was just a random girl who just we made her famous. Honestly, she didn't get famous on her own. We made her famous because we shared and liked that video of her saying that random stuff on the street. So I really can't sit here and blame her. It's not her fault, but hopefully she gets back into, hopefully she gets to recognize and gets to put her side out there and just just get her a fresh start because that's really what everybody probably wants to do with mainly her goal with her situation, wants to get a fresh start of and get out there of explaining what happened, how they got her to say yes and all this. But check it out, man. Haley Welch, the Hawk Tour girl. Give her a chance, and we'll see what happens after this. I'll keep in touch. But another incident that I wanted to talk about scamming. On my last episode, I talked about a lot about scamming, and building up to this episode, I found a lot of news or stories about scamming and stuff. And the most one is something more futuristic. It's been developed by car manufacturers. They are now gonna start wanting to have a subscription fee for you to be able to be used on electric cars, be able to have certain things to be used. One of them, I think, was if you want more horsepower on your car, you have to pay $22 a month. Or if you want to pay up front and get it over there, it's 800 something dollars up front. When you're buying a car, it's $800 up front. A yearly subscription, I think it was supposed to be like $100, $200 something. And that's gonna be for all electric cars. So if you're a big electric car, that's something that is gonna start happening. I'm not sure if it's 2026, but I know it's coming in the future. Volkswagen and BMW are one of the or not BMW, Mercedes. I think it was Mercedes is one of the ones that already having this type of non. I'm gonna call it nonsense because that's to me is just that just to me is just bad. Like, how are you just gonna have people already struggling with bills and stuff, and you already trying to add more stuff for people to pay just for them to use what was supposed to be built for us to use on a common daily. But I mean, I don't know. I personally didn't even like electric cars. Never really got into it. But if you like that stuff and you're into it, just know that's what's coming. I prefer gas because I've seen some of the stuff that people post videos of them having to take up to 10 hours to charge their car to have to be able to drive 200-300 miles, which that to me is ridiculous because I only have to pump. Like at the pump, I only have to be there maybe 2 minutes, and I'm sitting there driving 300 miles with no worries. No prices may be expensive, but it's always up and down with prices. So oil fields is just it's gonna be like that always. So we just gotta be best. We gotta do best what we can. But like I said, if that's something you like, man, just I honestly think that's a big ripoff. 'Cause like I said, we're already having so many bills. If you think about it, honestly, back in the '90s, what was the most common bills that our parents or grandparents had back then? And it was really just cable and phone and light, water. That was it. It was just 4 bills. Now we got Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Wi-Fi. It's just a long list of and it's like only depending on what plan you get, it could go from 8 to 10, $15, but it can also bounce up to $20 to $30, depending, like I said, what you get. You want something with no ads, you're looking at least $20 a month. So if you put $20 a month, man, that's a lot. That's like almost 200. At least it has to be over $100 a year. Because I mean, the yearly is 160, 180 a year. So, but like I'm saying, you have all these other subscriptions that you have to pay, and now they're trying to add more to us. Well, Volkswagen, I think they said that they already have a subscription fee if you want heated seats, which that was like a big slap in the face. Because come on, if you have leather and you have to pay a subscription to have heated seats when it's winter season, you like what the heck? When I got my first car, it was a 2000 GMC Yukon. I know it may seem like a big old family, but my mom bought it for all of us. But I was learning to drive, so she said you can drive it to school and back. That's it. But uh, that was a 2000. And that thing came with heated seats and all that. And we were like, I mean, it was 2010, 2009. We were like, what the heck? Because we ain't never had something like that. And we were like, man, this is amazing, heated seats and all that. But now you have to pay to have that. You have to pay to have more horsepower. Like, like that's just crazy. I like to chill and drive, but if I know that the car can go, I sometimes gonna hit that gas and go. But now I have to pay to be able to have fun. Like, I mean, I don't know. That's if you guys love, like I said, you guys love electric cars. That's what you look forward to. But that's on y'all. But honestly, I think that's a big scam, man. And that's what I'm saying. We got to watch out for these scammers because they're coming after. They're trying to literally find any way we can get uh really to pay more if anything. I actually have a coworker right now who's battling. He had recently got into 2 car wrecks. Both not his fault, but he got rear-ended. But he's right now, I'm sure he's like scratching, pulling his hair out because I know we were talking about it. I was telling him that insurance is gonna go high. He was already paying 300, 400 a month for 3, 4 cars, which is not too bad. But now two of his cars, rear-ended. Like I said, not his fault, but the insurance, they don't care whether it's your fault or not. They're gonna raise it up because now they have to spend money to fix your own vehicle, and so now we have to pay back the money they spending to fix our vehicles, even though we're already paying for it. But now they're going. That's why they raise up the price and stuff, and it's every year. Like I've been my insurance for 3 years, and they even though they send me stuff that I'm saving money, but I notice it little by little. They going up at least $5 to $8 every year. And I know it's like, dang, you tripping on $5, but it still is like, hold on, come on, like you got to put it down. Like all that I'm paying every month, like it just starts getting bad and bad. If they reach the 200, I'm changing already. I know you're supposed to have full coverage for a car that you're paying a month, but I'll probably just put my car on liability because that's just too much. Um, but anyway, like I'm saying, man, we gotta watch out. We gotta be careful in all we have going on out there. Like I said, these corporations, they don't really care as long as they're getting their money that they're asking. They're just gonna continue pushing us down. So, we gotta take a little stand probably. Just fight back, just keep looking around. This other topic that I want to talk about really is a little more touching. Um, is it's really about. I know some. I don't know how you guys feel about family stuff, but on this one I'll talk about. There is sometimes scams, and what I mean by scams and family is sometimes you have your own family members that don't really kind of want you to succeed or want you to be. Uh, Moving up or happy that you're doing what you want to do or doing good in life and stuff. So there was this incident that happened last week in my hometown of Huntsville. The and which is sad is that it happened on the first day of school. Everybody's excited, taking pictures and sending the kids off to school. I know some parents probably went out and celebrate that their kids back to school, but this incident happened not even 3 hours later. It literally happened like an hour after school started. This happened around 8, 9 in the morning, and it was a 19-year-old kid. He he murdered his own baby mama. I'm gonna say baby mama because I don't know if they were in a relationship. I don't know if they got into an argument or anything. I just know that he showed up to her apartment or wherever she lived, and he shot her 6 times. Uh, I think he emptied that magazine. I think he emptied his clip, but I do know one of the shots hit his own baby. Baby, I think was maybe nine to a year, and so that baby had to get life flighted to Houston. And I haven't had no update on it. And I'm not gonna go around looking for people their their personal problems. I'm not gonna do that. But I'm talking about this because it came on a Huntsville item, and it was when I was reading it, I was just like, "This is sad, man." This both of these kids were 19 years old. Um, the mom, fortunately, she passed away, and so now, if the baby survived, now the baby has to grow up his or her whole life, without getting to know who their mom was, getting to have a bond with the parent, with their mom, both parents, because now this kid is going to spend some time in prison. I don't know how long, but he's going to be spending quite a few years in prison. So, but I don't know what pushed this kid to do these actions, because maybe they got into an argument, and maybe they were separated, but he didn't want her to move on. Ain't no telling really what was the cause of the root cause of this, but the fact that what bothered me the most is, some people are gonna say it happens like that because they grow up without fathers and stuff. Okay, that's fine. They grow up without fathers, that's fine. But where are the uncles? Where's the grandparents? Where is at least the next father figure to step in and say, hey, your dad uh, may not be here and stuff. I was gonna try to cuss, but I gotta uh, keep it religiously, not religious, but keep it because I know my nieces and nephews be watching this. So, but anyways, back to where is a father figure to step in and say, you know what, if you ever need something, come ask me, come look for me if you need advice. Come, I'm here for you. Whatever you need. If you need relationship talks, I'm here for you. I'll be there to to guide you whatever I can. And if I can't help you, we'll find someone who can definitely, those type of people. And I don't know if you want to say, well, then people got to do their own thing. It's hard for because I grew up without a father, but I also had an older brother and older cousins. I had uncles that if I ever needed something, they were there for me, and if I ever had a question, they were going to help me out. So it's like it's obviously unless the kid didn't want to go help or go ask or something, maybe that. But there's people out there that are willing to help us out. Now, unfortunately, and I did mention unfortunately, there were, I did run into issues with some of my own family members. Some of them don't talk to me. It is what it is. We try to settle it, but apparently, some people can't move on from the past. So uh, that's all. That's all really. If you can't move on, if you're hurt for something that happened 10 years ago, I think that's something you need to work on yourself, and figure out a way for you to get better understanding, or maybe just realizing what could have gone wrong, what could have been better. But uh, some people are just not gonna sit there and just try to apologize every single time to make corrections. If you still hurt for something that's 10 years ago, I think that's just you now. That's personally of something affecting you. So, uh, but anyways, so it's like I was saying, some of these family members really and truly are not here to be happy for you or support you in any other way. But you just got to find a way to make yourself get out there and make yourself a proud or something. Like if your dad or mom don't want to look for you or they don't love you and stuff, but your other parent or somebody, a grandparent or somebody, is happy or rooting for you, and just focus on making them happy. Don't focus on trying to get love from someone that doesn't want to love you. So just go on and make, whoever is actually supporting you, talk to them, and just get with the program. Because man, honestly, like this kid, 19 years old, capital murder. Obviously, he's gonna be facing some charges. He's gonna be facing some time. I mean, and he was only 19 years old. His life is basically gone. I don't know when he graduated, but I assume he was only 1 year graduated. In 2025. I'm assuming because uh, 18. It has to make sense unless it has to make sense to me that he's 1 year after high school, but that's not enough time to enjoy. And then he had a kid. The responsibilities came way too early for him. Like, some people want to have fun, continue having fun. Some people like to, get. Some people like responsibility sooner. Everybody has their own choices, but this kid being so young threw away his whole life, his family, his everything that you don't know what could have happened, but he threw everything away for a dumb decision, a mad decision. It had to be mad. He obviously mad about something. Um, just threw everything to the garbage, trash. Now he's gonna. I'm sure they're gonna abuse him in prison because he's so young and stuff. So, and if the rumors are true, I haven't gone to prison myself, but if how people talk about it, that'd be something scary to go to. But uh, and that's what he has to come look for, and it's crazy. I mean, unless that's what he wanted to do. He couldn't find no job outside of work. Somebody had to hire, out of high school. Somebody had to give him a chance. He just had to go out there and look for it. But because there is some kids out there that they don't know what they want to do in life, so they turn into crime. They struggle a lot, but it's just they have they haven't really found that right person to guide them through, and because I mean there is some kids out there who have both parents and still turn into crime. You still live. I feel like those are the kids that they're spoiled. They gave everything was given to them, and so when something not given to them, when they first heard no, they couldn't take it, so they just turned violent. And so that's another thing we also got to talk about. We got to be, and how strict can you be to your kid? You know, how because the way I like the way I'm raising my daughter, I know I'm strict on her, but I'm also fair. Like I let her do whatever she wants to do. If she wants to play a phone, I let her. But when she's crossing the line, I let her know, hey, you're crossing the line. To this day, I haven't really had to get the belt or anything. Thank God. It is starting to get a little bad at one point. It was starting to get a little bad. She was, you know, throwing ego tantrums, and I was I was about to throw like my mom did me. I was about to throw a shoe at her or something. But it just depends on how because some people like to not hit their kids, and some people like to hit their kids. It's your own personal benefit. Me personally, when my dad was still around and just by hearing his voice get serious, that's when I was scared. So that's what I'm trying to do with my daughter is, let her know when my voice gets a deep tone, a serious tone, it's like, hey, I'm being serious. You cannot do this. But some, like I said, some parents don't want to even do that. They rather take their kid's opinion and all that. So it's like I said, it's all up to you how you want to raise your kid. But we gotta understand that how we raise kids, we can't be raising them how we want them. We have to raise them ready for other people out there because other people may not agree with your terms and stuff. And other people may not agree to how you raise your kid and stuff. But because that's one beauty. Like when I started working, I worked in the oil field at 19. I started at 19. I worked in the oil field. So I worked with a lot of people from, early 20s all the way to retiring age. On my first day, someone was retiring. So it was that type of view. But I got to work with older guys who gave me advice, who helped me, who told me, "Don't do this," or in the oil field, if you want to buy a new car, buy it after layoffs. If you didn't get laid off, that's how you know you have 4 years to pay off that vehicle, 4 or 5 years, depending on the next. Because, like I said, oil field is a roller coaster; it's always up and down. So they always gave me those type of advices, and then I think that's what we're. Some of us, I know, I try to help out some of the young guys that I'm with because I'm the older guy now, and we have young kids coming in. I do my best to help them. Sometimes I mess around with them and stuff because sometimes I forget my age. I mean, sometimes I feel like I just graduated back in June when really it's been 12 years since I walked that stage. So uh, damn, that just hit me hard. I didn't realize it was 12 years. But anyways, we just gotta really kind of help out our young community, man, because the way things are going, like I said, this kid was 19 and he threw his life away. That's just too early, man. That was just too soon. And and I really think his own family, if he had somebody, they really could have helped him out if he if he had that feeling, I'm guessing, with to have the courage to talk to somebody about something, the situation that he was going through. If he had somebody to go talk to him, he this could have been avoided big time, And so that's just what I think we need to do is just communicate. Y- Try to let them, because I understand when we were growing up, a lot of the theory about man is you got to fight, you got to get out there and fight, and make sure you let people know you're not about getting punked or anything. But really and truly, man, that's not even going to help you nowhere. Not even in the real world. The real thing about it is you have to just keep going. You have to get up and keep going. I don't like getting up for work. I struggle a lot to get up, but I have a family that depends on me, so I have no choice but to get up and go. I have to go work and and rely and put food at the table for my family. I don't. Sometimes I disagree with some stuff that my boss says or gives more paperwork or the things he wants us to do. I disagree with some of the stuff, but hey, he's done the time to get that title. I can't argue with the man. He's in charge for a reason. So I just got to keep going. And if I ever get the opportunity to take over, then I'll do things my way. So it may not work out the best like he did, but that's where that's the what I see coming from my future. But um, like I'm saying, man, we gotta focus on the future, not on right now. I know right now a lot of people are talking about this racism and Trump and all, but That's just something that is racism is going to continue if we keep talking about racism. If we keep saying stuff like, Trump don't want Mexicans here. Uh, if we keep saying that, then it's always going to be that Trump is a racist. But when the truth is, all they want is for us to fill out some pieces of paper. I know it takes a long time for that to get approved and passed through and everything. And all they want you is just to have a visa or residence, or if you could get a citizen, you're citizen, and just say, hey, you're an American citizen now, and just speak the language in English. Is some people I do see, I have to help some people out that can't speak English when they're trying to buy uh, water at a gas station to try and purchase whatever they want, but they can't communicate with even pumping gas when they're trying to say, hey, give me 20 on pump whatever, but they have a hard time pronouncing their the English words, so the counter person, the registration whatever you want to call it, they are not understanding. So I had to help them out, and say, hey, what do you need? And translate. I had to translate them out and all that. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like it's never gonna end if we keep that mentality going. So, and like I said, man, just help out whoever you can. If you see some of your nephews going through a bad time, or just being rough, and then just talk to them. That's all you can do is talk to them, and start a relationship with them. With anybody. If you have a coworker that has something bad, just talk to them, let them know. Have a relationship. That's all it is. Uh, Like I stated in my previous videos, we just got to help each other out. That's all it is. Just help each other out to make bad decisions are always going to happen, but as long as we know that we can go home and now nobody's looking for us, that's all that matters at the end. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys if you watched this all the way through. Like I said, I'll keep in touch on that. Talk to a girl, see what happens. Like I'm saying, let's give her a chance. I think so, but we'll see what happens, and I'll keep y'all posted. And if I find any more stories on scammers, I'm gonna come up here and let y'all know. So thank y'all again, and I'll catch you on the next episode.